Hello and welcome back to my channel where we are reading the Bible in a year. We are reading the entire Bible in a year, and we're here on day 56, which also was day 55 too, because you see the same shirt. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I had a little bit of a struggle these past couple of days. It just wasn't me, just things happening. It's just me being kind of discouraged. And I'm hoping my iPad doesn't die with my notes here. But anyway, so today, again, is day 56. We're reading from Matthew 6, 1 through 18. Jesus is teaching about giving, prayer, and fasting. Exodus 33 through 34, God's presence, and Moses receiving the 10 Commandments again, because you threw the last ones down. And people really trying, Moses. They tried me too. I kind of can't wait to get past those people, because that really gets on my nerves. Proverbs 15, wisdom is on using our words wisely. I think they talked about that before. I don't know if that was 13, where they're talking about our words are powerful. Okay, so let's all open our hearts and let's dive into today's reading. Going to Matthew 6. Why was I going to say Moses? Matthew 6, 1 through 18. So concerning almsgiving, beware of practicing your piety before others, in order to be seen by them. For then you have no reward from your Father in heaven. So whenever you give alms, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be praised by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your alms may be done in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Concerning prayer, and whenever you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and in the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. When you are praying, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do, for they think that they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. Pray then in this way: Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And do not bring us into the time of trial, but rescue us from the evil one. For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Concerning fasting, and whenever you fast, do not look dismal like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces so to show others that they are fasting. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. So this is just saying like how you conduct yourselves and not be a hypocrite. Or to me, not seeking attention, because why are you doing this? Are you doing this for attention? Are you doing this to win souls? Are you doing this for your own soul? What are you doing this for? Because the thing is, if you're doing this for the attention and people praise you, then you've already received your reward, if that is your sole intent, because God knows your heart. But if you're doing it and not seeking that reward, and you're actually just doing it for the greater good, then your reward is in heaven. So 1 through 4, Jesus is warning against giving just to be seen by others. I've seen those videos, and I'm not going to say what I think. I don't know what they're into. They may just be wanting us to see them giving so that maybe we go and do the same, because sometimes if you see something, you're like, okay, that kind of enlightened me, or just, made me want to go and do the same thing. But I see them like where they're giving like food or money on the streets to homeless people or whatever. And I'm like, well, I remember Jim Carrey saying like, why, him being homeless, I would not have wanted somebody to have a camera in my face giving me money. First of all, that's embarrassing. Yeah, it just, sometimes I just want to know the intent on doing it. And maybe it's all the great intention. I don't know, and I'm not one to judge. So giving just to be seen by others. So when you give, just ask yourself, is it from the heart of love or for recognition? All right, verses 5 through 15, the Lord's Prayer. So he talks about people praying and just to show off, using a lot of words, praying for, just giving us amount. Let's keep it simple. It's basically like don't do too much. Don't do too much. Just enough, What do they say? Very discreet, very mindful, So yeah, very modest, So prayer is about your intimacy with God, not a performance. Okay. Do you spend time in prayer just to be with God, or only when you need something? You have to keep that in mind too. Only when you need, because a lot of times we don't go to people or God until we need something. So this is on fasting. Fasting should be in private and sincere. Focus on God, not on impressing others. I don't need to impress others with, I'm fasting, or bragging about fasting, or wanting them to feel sorry for me because I'm fasting, or looking at me a certain way because I am fasting. All right, so we're going to move on to Exodus 33 through 34. I hope this is short because my little thing here is about to go dead with my notes on it. I thought it was like a battery saver on here. Okay, but anyway, so we're gonna try to move fast through this. 33 through 34. So the command to leave Sinai. The Lord said to Moses, go leave this place, you and the people whom you have brought out of Egypt, and go to the land in which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, to your descendants I will give it. I will send an angel before you, and I will drive out the Canaanites, the Amorites, and Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Go up to a land flowing with milk and honey, but I will not go up among you, or I consume you on the way, for you are a stiff-necked people. When the people heard these harsh words, they mourned, and no one put on the ornaments. For the Lord had said to Moses, say to the Israelites, you are a stiff-necked people. If for a single moment I should go up among you, I will consume you. Now take off your ornaments, and I will decide what to do to you. Therefore the Israelites stripped themselves of their ornaments from Mount Horeb onward, the tent outside the camp. Moses used to take the tent and pitch it outside the camp, far off from the camp. He called it the tent of meeting, and everyone who sought the Lord would go out to the tent of meeting, which was outside the camp. Whenever Moses went out of the tent, all of the people would rise and stand, each of them at the entrance of their tent, and watch Moses until he had gone into the tent. When Moses entered the tent, a pillar of cloud would descend and stand at the entrance of the tent, and the Lord would speak with Moses. When all the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance of the tent, all the people would rise and bow down, all of them at the entrance of their tent. Thus the Lord used to speak to Moses face to face, as one speaks to a friend. Then he would return to the camp, but his young assistant Joshua, son of Nun, would not leave the tent. Moses' intercession. Moses said to the Lord, see, you have said to me, bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and I know you have also found favor in my sight. Now, if I have found favor in your sight, show me your ways so that I may know you and find favor in your sight. Consider too that this nation is your people, he said. My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. And he said to him, if your presence will not go, do not carry us from here. For how shall it be known that I have found favor in your sight, and I and your people, unless you go with us? In this way we shall be distinct, and I and your people from every people on the face of the earth. The Lord said to Moses, I will do the very thing that you have asked, for you have found favor in my sight, and I know you by name. Moses said, show me your glory, I pray. He said, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and will proclaim before you the name of the Lord, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and show mercy on whom I will show mercy. But he said, you cannot see my face, for no one shall see me and live. And the Lord continued, see, there is a place by me where you shall stand on the rock. And while my glory passes, I will put you in a cleft or the rock, and I will cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen. All right. So I think I'm just going to go on with 34. And I may have to pause the camera because this is a very long chapter. Yeah, this is a very long chapter. And I am going to have to go get a charger. I am back. And I'm just going to read on. It did go dead, but I'm going to read on with 34. Moses makes new tablets. And the Lord said to Moses, cut 2 tablets of stone like the former ones, and I will write on the tablets the words that were in the former tablets, which you broke. Be ready in the morning. It's so funny because you broke them. The same ones you broke, go ahead and do that again. Okay, be ready in the morning and come up in the morning to Mount Sinai and present yourself there to me, to the top of the mountains. No one shall come up with you, and do not let anyone be seen throughout the mountain, and do not let the flocks, herds graze in front of that mountain. So Moses cut the 2 tablets of stone, just like the former ones, and he rose in the morning and went up to Mount Sinai as the Lord had commanded him, and took his hand the 2 tablets of stone. Like the former ones. And he rose in the morning and went up to Mount Sinai as the Lord had commanded him, and took his hand the 2 tablets of stone. The Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name the Lord. The Lord passed before him and proclaimed, the Lord, a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abundantly in steadfast love and faithfulness. Keep steadfast love for the thousandth generation, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin. So basically this is where the Lord reveals himself, his essential character to Moses. The Lord commands Moses to ascend to the mountain along with freshly cut stone tablets. Okay. Yet by no means, continuing on with verse 7, yet by no means clearing the guilty, but visiting the iniquity of the parents upon the children and the children's children, to the 3rd and 4th generations. And Moses quickly bowed his head toward the earth and worshiped. He said, if I now have found favor in your sight, O Lord, I pray let the Lord go with us. Although this is a stiff-necked people, pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for your inheritance. The covenant renewed. He said, I hereby make a covenant before all your people. I will perform marvels such as I have not performed in all the earth or any nation, and all the people among whom you shall see the work of the Lord. And there is an awesome thing that I will do with you. Observe that I command you today. See, I will drive out before you the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Take care not to make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land to which you are going. It will become a snare among you. You shall tear down their altars, break their pillars, and cut down their sacred poles, for you shall worship no other God. Because the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God, and you shall not make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land. For when they prostitute themselves to their gods and sacrifice to their gods, someone among them will invite you, and you will eat the sacrifice, and you will take the wives from among the daughters of your sons and their daughters who prostitute themselves to their gods will make your sons also prostitute themselves to their gods. You will not make cast idols. You shall keep the festival of unleavened bread. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread as I commanded you. And at the time appointed in the mouth of Abib, for in 1 month of Abib you come out from Egypt. All that first opens the womb is mine. All your male livestock, the firstborn cow and sheep, and the firstborn of a donkey, you shall redeem with a lamb, or you will not. Or if you not redeem it, you shall break its neck. All the firstborn of your sons you shall redeem. No one shall appear before me empty-handed. 6 days you shall work, but on the 7th day you shall rest. Even in the pillow time and harvest time you shall rest. You shall observe the festival of weeks, the first fruits of wheat harvest, and the festival of ingathering to the turn of the year. 3 times in the year you shall make males appear before the Lord God of Israel, for I will cast out nations before you and enlarge your borders. No one shall covet your land when you go and appear before the Lord your God 3 times in a year. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven, and the sacrifice of the festival of the Passover shall not be left until morning. The best of the first fruits of your ground you shall bring to the house of the Lord your God. You shall not boil any kid in his mother's milk. The Lord said to Moses, write these words in ordinance with the words I have made a covenant with you in Israel. He was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. He neither ate bread nor drank water. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant and the 10 commandments, the shining face of Moses. Moses came down from Mount Sinai as he came down from the mountain with the 2 tablets of the covenants in his hand. Moses did not know the skin of his face shone because he had been talking with God. When Aaron and all the Israelites saw Moses, the skin of his face was shining, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moses called to them, and Aaron to all the leaders of the congregation returned to him, and Moses spoke with them. Afterward, all the Israelites came near, and he gave them in commandment all that the Lord had spoken with him on Mount Sinai. When Moses had finished speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. But whenever Moses went before the Lord to speak with him, he would take the veil off until he came out. And when he came out, he told the Israelites what had been commanded. The Israelites would sit there, see the face of Moses, that the skin of his face was shining, and Moses would put the veil on his face again until he went back to speak with him. All right. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too long. So where are we at? We are Exodus 33 through 34. Moses pleads to God for God's presence to go with them in Israel, because God said he was just like, he wasn't going with them or whatever. And he's just like, please make your presence known. And so basically he said he would go ahead and make his presence known, and I would give you rest. Do you seek God's presence in your life? Like, like asking God to be there, to guide me, to lead me. I just need you here with me. Or just asking, like, if it be your will, just make your presence known. Just be with me. Exodus 34, Moses receives the commandments again. Moses sees God's glory, but only his back. So he says he's going to turn his back. He wants to see his face. He said, but no man should see my face unless they just die. If they see my face, they're going to die. So he saw only his back. God is merciful and compassionate, but also just. Okay, he's a just God, never wavering, not here or there, but he is merciful. Okay, how does understanding God's nature affect your relationship with him? That's a pretty good question. That is a pretty good question. All right, Proverbs 15. Here we go. Proverbs 15. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise dispenses knowledge, but the mouths of the fools pour on folly. The eyes of the Lord are in every place. Keep watch on the evil and good. A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. A fool despises a patient instruction. A parent's instruction. I leave my reading glasses. A parent's instruction, but the one who heeds admonition is prudent. In the house of his righteous there is much treasure, but the trouble befalls the innocent of the wicked. The lips of the wise spread knowledge, but not so the minds of fools. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but he loves the one who pursues righteousness. There is severe discipline for those who forsake the ways, but the one who hates a rebuke will die. Sheol and Abaddon lie open before the Lord. Abaddon? How much more human hearts? Scoffers do not like to be rebuked. They will not go to the wise. A glad heart makes cheerful countenance. But by sorrow of heart the spirit is broken. The mind of the one who has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouths of fools feed on folly. All the days of the poor are hard, but a cheerful heart has a continual feast. Better is little with the fear of the Lord, the great treasure and trouble with it. Better is the dinner of vegetables where love is than a fatted ox or hatred with it. Those who are hot-tempered stir up strife, but those who are slow to anger calm contention. The way of the lazy is overgrown with thorns, but the path of the upright is a level highway. A wise child makes a glad father, but the foolish despise their mothers. Folly is joy to one who has no sense, but a person of understanding walks straight ahead. Without counsel, plans go wrong, but with many advisors, they succeed. To make an apt answer is a joy to anyone, and a word in season, how good it is. For the wise the path of life leads upward in order to avoid Sheol below. The Lord tears down the house of the proud, but the mountains the window's boundaries. Evil plans are an abomination to the Lord, but gracious words are pure. Those who are greedy for unjust gain make trouble for their households, but those who hate bribes will live. The mind of the righteous ponders how to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours out evil. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. The light of the eyes rejoices the heart. The good news refreshes the body. The ear that heeds wholesome admonition will lodge among the wise. Those who ignore instruction despise themselves, but those who heed admonition gain understanding. The fear of the Lord is instruction, and wisdom and humility goes before honor. All right. So, just talking about, again, your words, being gentle in your answers. But so basically, I am going to say this is kind of similar to, like, it's not what you say, but how you say it. So sometimes when your answer or your response is harsh, then you're going to start angering the other person and they're not going to hear you. All right. I know that's one of the things that I need to write that verse down. Okay, verse 1. So, because I have said this before about because a lot of times, like, people aren't going to respond well to your harsh word. They're only going to respond to the harsh tone. So I'm going to be quick to jump on the harsh tone than what you're saying to me. So basic, are your words bringing peace or stirring conflict? The eyes of the Lord are everywhere. So keep him watch on the wicked and the good. So he is everywhere. He sees what you're doing. There's not a moment when he's not seeing what you're doing. And then verse 33, wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord, and humility comes before honor. Okay. So it is wise to fear God, and being humble comes before, to me, I'm guessing honor and recognition kind of goes hand in hand. So, so wisdom starts with us acknowledging God, and walking with honor. Okay, I mean walking with humility. All right, so this wraps up day 56. Today we have learned about sincere worship, being sincere in our worship, and choosing our words carefully. I'd like you to tell me below like what stood out to you today, and put that down in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you don't miss a day. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 57. Farewell and be blessed.